Hello, Elan. Welcome to Whistle Talks, episode 2. It's great to have you here with us. Um, Today, we're going to be speaking about something that you have extensive knowledge about, and that's how marketing is an extension of sales. Before we start, can you just maybe give us a little bit of a background about what you do and where you're from?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thank you for having me, Kayla. Happy to be here. So I'm Elad. I'm the CEO at Airfleet, and basically the way I see it is I love marketing and I love technology. And what I love even more is the combination of both. So what we do at Airfleet, so we focus on creating and optimize revenue-generating websites for tech B2B. So that's like the perfect combination of how to use technology to really help marketers do their job better. Playbooks for how to hand over between marketing and sales. Uh, but if you think about it, there shouldn't be any handover between marketing and sales, right? It's something that uh, it started long ago. When we first started doing digital marketing, we started moving from collecting leads and then handing them over to sales, so sales can call the prospect and sell to them. But if you think about that today, it's like both marketing and sales are both in charge of generating revenue or the pipeline, if you want. So it doesn't really make sense to do the handover between marketing and sales. It's more about phasing in, phasing out between marketing and sales. But at the end of the day, especially now where companies understand it's not like we are at grow at all cost kind of way. So we really want to focus both marketing and sales of being in charge of the pipeline, of working together. So when you define the handover and when you define an handover between marketing to sales, you actually tell marketers this is where your job ends, and you actually tell sales only you start only from here, and that's fundamentally wrong in if you want to succeed as a business.
But can you speak a little bit about the differences between marketers and salespeople?
Yeah, sure. So the job of marketer is actually doing the same job as the salespeople are doing, but on a broader scale, so on a broader audience. At the end of the day, they are still doing the same, the same. They're still working towards the same end goal, which is to make sure that. So the way I see it is, if you think about marketers and salespeople, since they're both in charge of the pipeline, of generating the pipeline, marketers are actually doing the same job as sales are doing, but on a broader level. They don't do the one-on-one relationship and the one-on-one interaction like the salespeople are doing, but they are still working at the same method in terms of handling objections, in terms of reframing the product as a solution to a problem, or even in terms of coming up with a differentiation of what's unique in their product versus the other products. Both marketers and sales are doing the same thing, but since sales have the ability to do this one-on-one relationship, they are actually more focused on the specific people that they are working with. Like, do they have do they have kids? What makes them specifically tick, and what makes them, what are their goals in their company, and then based on that, sales can actually take it a bit forward and have this one-on-one relationship with a client that marketers can't. um, Also, the way I see it is that sales need to learn the in and outs of a specific account, right, and try and understand like who are the champions, who are the like what the buying committee consists of, and then this is the main job. This is the main way of working, which again marketers are really do and shouldn't really do because they need to focus on the broader audience. They can support account level marketing, but still the sales job is to do this one-on-one and a bit more deeper research about each account.
How does the marketer's function differ in B2B as opposed to B2C?
Wow. So this brings me to um, even bigger conversation about what's the difference between B2B and B2C in marketing in general. So not just what the marketing function differ, but what the main difference
Mhm.
is between B2B and B2C. And a lot of marketers would say it's the same because at the end of the day, you're marketing to a human. We can talk about that as a completely separate discussion. But the main two
Yes.
differentiation I see is the deal size and the number of people involved
Okay.
in the buying committee. So in B2C, we don't really have the buying committee, maybe one or two, which obviously is a big thing in B2B, especially at high ticket sales. Um,
Mhm.
but it brings the marketing team in B2C because they don't have the sales function usually. The marketing in B2C are in charge of the full funnel from acquisition to pipeline, which makes their KPI revenue based. And in B2B, uh, we only starting to see that when we are talking about PLG-led companies. Usually in B2B, the KPIs would be somehow connected to the pipeline, but not the pipeline itself. So marketers at B2C are doing sales. Like that's their job. They're doing their marketing and the sales, while marketing in B2B are working with sales to close the deals. And now we're seeing this change with PLG that marketers are also in charge of signups and revenue generation.
So with that being said, the key KPIs for marketing teams have changed. How should they be measured now?
If you give them different set of KPIs, they will work differently. Take for example a field marketer in an event. If since they sometimes their KPIs are
Sometimes that
how many badges did you scan? So what do they do? They're scanning badges all day. That's what they do. So when you measure marketing by MQLs, for example, or even meeting books, what do you think will happen? They will just bring more MQLs and try and book more meetings, not necessarily make sure that those MQLs and those meetings are going to translate to an actual pipeline generated. But if you give the sales and marketing the same set of KPIs, which is not just meeting books, but pipeline and revenue, this way you can get the sales and marketing team working better together. It doesn't mean that you don't need to measure MQLs and meeting books and engagement. Those are leading indicators for the pipeline and the revenue. But at the end of the day, you must be accountable for the pipeline.
And what are some of these clear indicators that the synergy between marketing and sales are broken?
Obviously, as I mentioned before, if you have different set of KPIs, if marketing are talking about leads and MQLs and sales are talking about pipeline, you have an issue. But also, if you see that less than half of their pipeline are not sourced by marketing, or is sourced by sales, that's an issue. It's not a magic number. It's not always 50%. It's depending on the industry and stuff like that. But in general, as a marketer, you need to strive for 80% of the pipeline to be sourced by marketing and not just sourced by sales. That's ideally what you need to strive for. Otherwise, you'll see again, sales are working their own leads, marketing are pushing their own leads, and that's going to create a conflict. And as a marketer, if you see that in your day-to-day work, most of your work with sales is fixing their decks or creating presentations and brochures for the sales team, so you're doing it wrong. Something is broken. You need to work with them on more important things than just what's their next step. If you ask both marketers and sales, what is your ICP? If you get totally different answers between both, so definitely start there. That would definitely show a misalignment between sales and marketing.
And how would we fix this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wish I have like this one magic solution to fix alignment between marketing and sales, but obviously smarter people than I am tried. I think that at its basis, the marketing leader must be the sales leader best friend, and obviously that way around.
Hmm.
If marketing are going to put pipeline as the main KPI, then they will have bigger incentive to work together with sales to make sure that they are more aligned. Salespeople are getting like bigger budgets and usually are pushing more to bigger teams and stuff like that because they are in charge of the pipeline, and often marketing is being seen as a cost center. If as a marketer you change this and you start talking
Yeah.
about pipeline, you will not longer be a cost center, and then you can actually start being much more aligned with sales, using even sales budget to drive the marketing aspect, and sales will like you for that. It doesn't mean that the marketing should be, an assistant of sales, or just do whatever sales thinks should be done. Um, but if marketing will not listen to
Yeah.
sales and will not hear the actual reasons why sales are doing what they are doing, like having their own leads and stuff like that, it will be a constant battle. So just to sum it up, you need to listen. You need to be the best friend of the sales leader, and you need to truly listen to why aren't they working your leads and they're working something else. And this will start. This is just where the journey starts.
Okay, so could you tell us a little bit about how the marketing team can help the sales?
But first of all, as I mentioned, listen. Listen and accept that not every form field that you got on a website is a great deal to be closed. Seems as a great opportunity, but at the end of the day, it's just someone filling in a form. It's not more than that. Um, as a marketer that is in charge of a website, as a digital marketer that is in charge of the website, the more information you can give to the prospects, to the website visitors that are often raised in sales conversation, the better you'll prepare the prospect for the sales interaction. So if you can explain more about the product, the features, the differentiation, doing comparison between your product and other products, even show pricing. I know it's a touchy subject, but even show pricing on your website. You will actually support sales by better qualifying the leads that are coming to your website. Now, we are currently working on pricing on our website because I want to make sure that whomever is reaching out to me, they understand that that is what they are expected to spend. And if they don't have this budget, I don't even have a reason to discuss with them. So sales will actually appreciate that. Um, and of course, I would assume it's in known knowledge by now, but never send form fields that are not requested demo to sales. If someone is requesting for gated content, it's not a sales qualified lead. Just don't send it over.
Some key pieces of information that marketing should be sharing.
I would say arm sales with actual benchmark data, like what is the core differentiation between your product and other products in the market, because this is where a lot of the prospects are actually smarter, where they are doing heavily research about different products, and if you can support your sales team with that information, you can actually help them handle objections and move forward the deals in the pipeline. And as I mentioned before, like if you can create more pieces of information, like features, use cases, case study, either as web pages or as even PDFs that sales can immediately share with prospect to both educate them and handle the objection, you'll be supporting the sales, and the reps will have to do a lot less talking during the discovery meetings and during the next meetings, which will just make the sales cycle much shorter and will help them actually focus on what they should be focusing, which is the personal relationship between them and the account, them and the prospects, which is much more important as sales versus the marketing.
Absolutely. And now that we've spoken about how marketing can assist sales, could we flip that and speak how the sales team can help the marketing?
I'm seeing that a lot when I'm working with different marketing teams. They see the salespeople as master to their own sales, right? They're doing what they want, but they not always share why. So about why this lead doesn't make sense, provide feedback to the marketers, like explain to them what's wrong with this lead, right? Beside that, if you're as a salesperson, if you're starting to change the messaging and the way you're talking with clients, you're using different jargon and stuff like that, share that with the marketing team. Maybe it's something that makes sense to change as a global thing, and not just in a one-to-one interaction. What type of qualification questions are missing? Like when especially SDRs, when they jump on a call and they do these qualification questions, you will start and see different SDRs are going a bit of different ways, adding their own qualification because they know what the sales reps are looking to understand and to know. So if you can add that and pre-qualified the leads, you are going to you're going to help the sales in general. So as a salesperson, as a rep, just help the marketer, tell them what you're looking for, share with them what is most important to you when you are getting a lead. What information are you looking for? And I think it's second, big help that can be done is, I understand that you want to close deals. I understand that this is where the commission is coming from. But if you're focusing on non-ICP deals, you're actually doing it. You're actually doing worse for the business, for the marketing team, and for yourself, because this client is probably not going to be a good fit for the company soon. So when you're doing that, you're actually, let's say, confusing marketing with what's working and what's not. Because if a company which is not in any of the industries you're targeting, you just close the deal, you're starting to confuse marketing with, oh wait, what am I missing here? And sometimes it's not going to work. It's not going to work as a good client, as a good approach for marketing.
Is there a tech stack that can help keep these two departments aligned? And if so, what does that tech stack look like?
As much as I love technology, I don't think that this is an issue that technology can solve by itself. There are tons of tools that can assist once the departments are aligned. But I would say nothing will replace the whole, FaceTime one-on-one sitting with marketing and sales and just talk it out in terms of the alignment. But nevertheless, you do need one proper dashboard that both marketing and sales are looking, ideally the same KPIs that you're looking at and trying to optimize. There are some tools unrelated to alignment which can definitely help the marketing and sales improve the buyer journey. In general, tools like scheduling tools, Chili Piper, Revenue Hero, any of those, even Calendly or HubSpot meetings should work. Adding chatbot like Drift, for example, definitely adding enrichment data platforms to add more value during the buyer journey to both marketing and the sales team, and even auto lead scoring tools like Meduku or Forward that can help surface leads that are currently in the works. You can say that might be super engaged, but just not yet converted. So you can use those tools to actually surface those to sales, and then they might decide to act upon those leads.
Elad, it's been great having you here on Whistle Talks. An absolute pleasure. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and expertise. Can't wait to chat to you again.
Amazing. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much, Kayla, for having me. It was a real pleasure to work with you today.